Okay, I've been meaning to try this for months. We have got gel printing onto fabrics, in this case t-shirts. We're going to be doing cardboard stamps, cut paper stencils, laser print transfer, and to my amazement, it all works pretty well. Welcome to Yates Makes. I'm Mark, and let's get into it. Right, first textile medium. I'm using Daler Rowney System 3, which is something I've used for screen printing. It's a great product. Impossible to read though, so with a little help, there you go. Mix 1 part to 1 part. Right, the instructions also promise that this is good for 20 or more washes, so I'll be testing that as well. Obviously not in this video, but I'll be wearing these t-shirts, washing them, seeing how we go. So I thought I'd try a quick experiment first, just to see how well the gel plate transfers onto fabric. Obviously it's cotton, it's quite fine. I was fairly hopeful it would work. So I'm just inking up here with my mix of Amsterdam Lamp Black and Daler Rowney textile medium, and I've pressed in my kind of corrugated cardboard stamp. I'll link a video above now so you can see how these things are made, but it's a really quick way of getting an image transferred onto your gel plate. It's kind of graphic as well. Simple motif of a star. Flipped that over. What was really interesting is that, I'd been so long since I've done any screen printing, I've forgotten how open the textile medium makes the acrylic. It stays wet for a lot longer. So I weighed it down with some books. I waited about 15 minutes, peeled it up, and it still felt a little wet to touch, so I left it a little longer. And there you can see I've got my greaseproof paper out, and as it says on the instructions, this needs to be kind of sealed or kind of fixed, if you like, with heat. So I've just ironed it, and I was amazed at how kind of like not crusty the texture was. It was nice and soft. You can see the inside, there was no transfer at all. So first experiment was kind of really successful, very encouraging. So with that, I decided to make a more complex kind of cardboard stamp, this time inspired by Toots and the Maytals at 5446. That's my number. Fantastic reggae song. It's always on in our house. So yeah, knowing it would work, I thought I'd try a kind of classic black on white, and again mixing up my 1 part black Amsterdam acrylic paint with my 1 part textile medium, and making sure it was really well mixed on a little plate palette first, smearing it out, and then again going for a kind of generous but kind of very evenly spread layer of paint or paint mix with medium. And the fact it stays open longer means you've got longer to try and really get a smooth finish. This time I'm trying to really push that cardboard stamp down with a bit of wood to try and make it nice and flat and make good contact. Left it a little while, probably left it about a couple of minutes, I guess, knowing that paint is staying wet for longer. Cleaning up my edge with a baby wipe there, and not bad. The transfer was okay. I had to go in with the edge of a bit of cardboard box and just clean up some of the kind of graphic edges just so you could read the numbers a little clearer, but that was all easy, as I said before, because the paint stays open longer, so you can do a little bit of kind of tidying up as you go. Flipped it over again, little bit of pressure, and then back on with those books to try and weigh it down. I don't know if this was helping or not. I just felt it, I'm so used to working with paper, which really kind of adheres nicely to the gel plate. I just thought a little bit of weight might be needed. Having tried canvas and canvas board, a little bit of weight kind of really helped in with that surface. And there you go, peeling up. You can see there's no residue whatsoever on the gel plate. I left it a good 15 minutes again, and yeah, just like the first one, it's obviously a kind of broken, quite industrial looking print, but the kind of clarity of tones is good, the depth of tones is good. Once you iron it in, some of those tones fade a little bit, but I was pleased. It's kind of the look I was after. Right, moving on, let's look at cut paper stencils. So I'm looking for a more kind of precise shape now. So all I've done is just mark out with pencil on, this is just drawing paper, 150 GSM drawing paper, a really simple stenciled shape that I am cutting out with my scalpel, and just seeing how this works with a cleaner image. Now I'm fixing this very lightly with a tiny bit of spray adhesive, spray mount. This is a repositional spray mount, and that's just going to help it adhere, keep those edges nice and flush to the surface of the t-shirt. And this time mixing up a blue with, again, equal parts textile medium, and flipping that over. And for some reason this t-shirt, this red t-shirt, maybe it's finer cotton, I don't know, better quality t-shirt, this really takes the paint beautifully. I didn't need to like reprint it. You know, it just really soaks up that paint really nicely, and you get a very clean transfer, much better than the white t-shirts. But you know, I think probably my next experiment will involve going to be a little more selective in the garments, the quality of the cotton. Right, I thought I'd try a second layer. So all I've done is trace off some of the negative spaces, added a little more pattern, and the idea here is to print a second colour into this design. So this is just tracing paper, and I'm intending to print straight through it as a stencil. So yeah, a few little extra shapes that I'm just registering over, again with a tiny bit of spray adhesive on the back, and this time I'm mixing up some white acrylic. This is System 3 acrylic. This is what is designed to be used with the medium, so I'm hoping this works pretty well as well. Mixing that with a little brush onto the plate and rolling out nice and evenly. This took quite a bit of mixing on the plate. The consistencies were very different of the paint, so you need to work at this and really mix it well. But there you go. This is now going to be flipped and dropped directly over that tracing paper stencil. Now this time I decided to kind of hardly leave it for any time at all, just, you know, pressed it down, left it. This process probably took about, I don't know, a minute all up, and actually that, I think again it was the quality of this red t-shirt, the cotton was really good on it, and yeah, just got a nice clean transfer, and I was surprised how kind of opaque that white was against the red. Okay, so a far more complex stencil now. I was kind of encouraged by that first experiment, and you know, I love my music. I wanted a nice band t-shirt, so I thought I'd go with a stencil of PJ Harvey that I've made here. So I made that on Procreate. I've got stencil videos, you'll have to have a look on my channel about how to make these if you're interested. And back onto these white t-shirts. Again, I'm back with the black Amsterdam paint mixed with the textile medium, and yeah, good generous layer, because I wanted a nice strong kind of really opaque black, just masking off with some paper my edges here just in case I slip or get a mucky finger on anything. And yeah, then flipping that gel plate onto my stencil, pressing it down again with the books, and left it about a couple of minutes. But you can see, I don't know what it was, but I just did not get a very kind of pure and rich and opaque transfer. So I thought, right, what do I do? I let it dry. You can see there's quite a lot of residue on the gel plate, so I thought maybe my drying times weren't quite long enough. So I've inked up again with the same mix, same colour, positioning it back over just to see if I can build up a few layers. So again, you know, that's made some difference, but not a lot. So I let it dry completely, and then went back in about half an hour later and mixed up yet another layer, flipped that over. You know, full marks of perseverance. Having made this stencil and having only really got a limited amount of t-shirts to use for this video, I just kept going with it and building up the layers. And I think what I should have done in the first place was this: get that generous layer on there and then leave it to dry for ages. I left it weighed down with books for a good half an hour. So removing my kind of little mask bits on the end, and then very carefully peeling up that that stencil, because obviously having done the hard work cutting it, I wanted to reuse it. So the ear fell out, a very delicate part, but I can reposition that easy because I was using the spray adhesive. And that, considering the technique, I felt was, I intentionally chose a really delicate, fine stencil just to kind of test the edges and the clarity of the edges, and I was really impressed. This is not bad for a kind of home printing kind of stencil t-shirt. This was better than I thought it was going to come out, so encouraged. And yeah, we'll certainly be going back to this. Enjoyed it as well. You can make yourself loads of gig t-shirts and just have a bit of fun, couldn't you? So right, finally, laser copy transfers. Now, I had no idea, and I was really shocked how well this worked. Again, I'm mixing up equal parts Amsterdam paint. In this case, it's a dark blue colour. I'll tell you the name. I've got it right next to me. What is it? I can't even read it because it's so dark in here. It's Prussian blue mixed with my gel medium, my textile medium, and I'm just taking the time to try and get that, like with all laser transfers, get a nice thin even layer. What was lovely about this is I had longer than normal because, as I said before, that textile medium keeps the paint far more open. It will stay wet for a lot longer. Now, I wasn't sure how well this would work, and I was shocked. I think it's almost better using textile medium than it is using just a standard paint, which is a really interesting discovery moving forward. So you can, as you can see there, I've got a really lovely clean transfer. This is a drawing, by the way, that I then ran through a halftone filter on Procreate. I'll link a video above now about that technique. I find halftone images work far better as laser kind of transfers. Anyway, flip that over and weighed it down, left it again about half an hour, and even though it was on the white t-shirt, which I hadn't had so much success with the last kind of cut paper stencil, it took this quite well, and yeah, pretty pleased with that. There was still a lot of clarity. I'll zoom in now so you can see, and that halftone pattern really transferred well. Okay, so my final little experiment with this one was to go along with my little portrait of Tom York here. I thought I'd get some text. So rather than do any more laser transfer, I just thought I'd do some nice I don't know, some sort of jaunty little, like hand cut text. Thought it might quite suit the image. So here I am just sketching out my my letters, my text that was going to go over it. This is on tracing paper. I flip that over onto my my new discovery, my new favourite material, which is this kind of book film covering stuff, which has got the plastic, kind of very lightly adhesive plastic backed with paper. Flip that over, cut the thing out, and here I am kind of fiddling around with my little plastic backing, which is going to be my stencil. That adheres nicely to, I could have done this in paper, I just thought I'd have a go with the plastic backing just to see how it worked. And it's quite durable for reusing, that's why I wanted to have a go with it. Mixing up a tiny bit of red just to run along the bottom there for my text, mixing that up and smearing it directly kind of in the shape that I needed. Don't need much paint because it's a very small area that I'm transferring. Easy enough to position this one, but I did make a kind of schoolboy error, which was I didn't fix my laser transfer first. So the adhesive, as you'll see now, I don't think it kind of like wrecked the image or anything, but you'll see when I pull the stencil up, which is, the plastic has got its own adhesive on it. It would have happened, to be honest, with if I'd have done a spray adhesive on the back of a paper stencil, but because I didn't fix with an iron my laser transfer first, you'll see the line where you see it about to appear now, where I pull this plastic stencil up, pulls a very faint layer of paint off from my original print. Never mind, it's a lesson learned, and in this case, I don't think the image suffered for it too much, but you can see quite a lot of that kind of unfixed laser transfer was removed. So there you go. There's the line. No bother though. What I was really impressed with was, just how far you can go with real basic home printmaking kit. You can get quite a lot out of these really basic techniques, and this is just my first kind of foray, if you like. I could approach this now with a lot more kind of planning and get a lot more complex with the work. Okay, there you go. Well, what's coming up? the Gel Plate Summit promo image there. This is a really exciting summit that I'm contributing to. I'll put an affiliate link down below. It's not active yet, but you can follow it and look at what's on offer. I think the booking starts to open on 18th of September. I'll make another promo video that's kind of previewing the video that I've contributed to it. I'll do that and release it early next week, so you'll be able to have a look and use the affiliate link to go and get your booking. Really good value for money. 14 really cool. I say 14. I'll say 13 other really cool artists and me as well, contributing to that. Great value for money. So look out for that. Also, I really want to give a plug to my friend Tina's channel. I'll link it now. There you go. There's the name. I'll link it below in the description as well. Tina's art. She's doing some really interesting things with Akuya etching inks on the gel plate, and I think this is what I'm going to go and have a little play around with next. The kind of clarity of textures and stuff she's getting at is a really lovely fine detail. So yeah, I'll be playing around with Tina's techniques and seeing how I get on with those. Full credit to her, obviously. Thank you, Tina. Alright, that's about it for me. I'm going to go and wash my PJ Harvey t-shirt and see if it all just disappears, and I'll report back. In the meantime, take it easy, and I'll see you soon for another video. Ta-ta.